stocks. Let's bring in Steve Weiss, who joins us now on the phone, because he, in fact, has bought more Nvidia today. Tell me why today was the day to do that, given the headlines that we showed our viewers from that wall, the questions that are still out there, the fact that this stock has tried to bounce rather unsuccessfully.
So that's all correct. And basically, I agree with everything that Rob said, including, by the way, his aversion to hearing him talk. But the reason I bought it is the headlines today, in part. And it's been a pretty successful strategy with Taiwan Semi, with Netflix, with United Healthcare on high-quality permanent compounders to buy the dip. And so what we've seen this week is a lot of frightened holders who perhaps didn't know what they owned, bought the momentum, exiting the stock. So, look, I don't know what happens with the meeting of Jensen and Trump. Nobody does. But I can tell you, anybody that's ever met with Trump recently has come out with Trump on their side and supportive of them. So you will come to a situation, of course, with DeepSeek where tech lines up on two sides. You've got the Metas of the world who really want to drive down costs. Yet they said that they're not revising their budget. Nobody should in this. So you're going to win from that with Nvidia. Now, it's not news that Nvidia's margins are going to come under pressure. That, in fact, is Moore's law. The only news is that it may be happening sooner than later, but they will continue to innovate. So right now, I'm buying the panic selling in that. I also bought the panic selling in Taiwan Semi. I also bought smaller, because it wasn't really a big decline, on Microsoft as well yesterday. So I just take those opportunities for what I believe is still going to be a great AI CapEx cycle for technology, with the difference being, at least for now, you have to be more selective. So each of those have an idiosyncratic bull case to them versus the broader range that don't. So that's why I bought.
Investors are beginning to reevaluate short-term sales projections for the AI chip behemoth after its largest clients revealed significant spending intentions. But Nvidia's stock is still in negative territory for the year and down more than $500 billion from its peak in early January. Since the widespread adoption of the new technology in early 2023, Nvidia has enjoyed tremendous revenue gains and continues to hold a dominant market share for AI powering chips, including its newest line of Blackwell processors, which increase computing efficiency while using less energy. Sales for the group more than doubled to just under $70 billion in fiscal 2024, and experts predict that its fiscal year 2025, which ended in January, would bring in almost $129 billion. However, late last month, DeepSeek, a Chinese AI startup, emerged, challenging expectations for another 50% growth rate for the upcoming fiscal year. DeepSeek claims to have built, trained, and developed a large language model system and chatbot for a fraction of the price paid by its U.S. competitors. The DeepSeek AI agent's announcement and rumors that it cost less than $6 million to train caused Nvidia's stock price to plummet by around $600 billion in a single day, the biggest session market capitalization drop ever. However, doubts have been raised regarding DeepSeek's claims, and it has been reported that it used expensive Nvidia chips that were prohibited from exporting to China due to regulations implemented by the Biden administration. This has calmed market anxiety regarding Nvidia's short-term projection, which the company implicitly confirmed in a statement last month. According to the company, DeepSeek is a superb AI development and an ideal illustration of test time scaling. The work of DeepSeek demonstrates how that method may be used to generate new models by utilizing publicly available models and completely export control-compliant computing. High-performance networking and a sizable number of NVIDIA GPUs are needed for inference. Several of NVIDIA's largest clients, known as hyperscalers, who supply cloud and data center infrastructure on a gigantic global scale, undoubtedly echoed that last week with their combined capital investment forecasts. This year alone, Microsoft, Meta Platforms, Alphabet, the parent company of Google, and Amazon are expected to spend $325 billion. That exceeds Pfizer's and Citigroup's combined market worth. Beginning in 2023, their three-year capital expenditure run rate is expected to nearly triple to $690 billion, which is more than Visa's market worth and slightly less than JP Morgan Chase's. So, what implications does this have for Nvidia's stock? Let's explore that. But first, a big thank you to those of you who've stuck with us this far. Creating these videos takes significant effort and dedication. So if you're enjoying the content, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts on Nvidia stock in the comments. Your support truly helps us grow. Now let's get back to the video.
Is one of America's greatest companies, but you don't like on a Saturday night do that.
No, although the response to DeepSeek has been interesting. Some say actually it's a sign that we should be even tighter on the chip supply as opposed to...
Well, in fact, and there's some wire stories this morning about some pressing the White House to be tougher, at least on Nvidia.
There are. I think that the White House is actually a little less hardline than people think. I think that the White House wants to hear. The White House is trying to figure out, did DeepSeek get 100,000 high-end chips from Singapore
or wherever?
And I posted yesterday on X, absolutely not. That there's just no evidence whatsoever, according to Nvidia, that they diverted them from Singapore. I think they're in a jam. If they say, look, the reason why DeepSeek really they had access to 100,000. It's not like they made. Okay, I got an analogy for you. All right, so you have a juicer that can make 10 glasses of orange juice out of an apple, of an orange.
An apple would be incredible.
That's what Jensen's doing. No, 10 glasses. That's a mistake. They can make 10 glasses of orange juice out of one.
Okay.
Or you can make, you have 10 juicers, and you just get one glass. So do you really need to pay for 10 juicers? You can just buy DeepSeek.
Understood. Right.
And that's the worry.
That is the worry. Listen, I think there any number of people now have weighed in saying the efficiencies they were able to come up with, the techniques they used, whether it's reinforcement learning or this mixture of experts, things are certainly our software engineers are well aware of and have used, but that they did a good job and that they did plow new ground. That said, they also a lot of people have weighed in now on the cost differential and saying it really is not large between the models here and the model, what they were able to do. And ultimately, I think many believe that chip demand will be unchained.
I agree. Well, okay, so here's...
Over any meaningful period of time, but we'll see. Now, on the chip front, I mean, again, Darius Amodei, the guy who runs Anthropic, came out with a piece, I think it was earlier this week, I read it, saying we got to be even tougher on China. We cannot let them be our equal. And that's another thing that we do understand from DeepSeek.
Although Jassie's post last night, DeepSeek R1 now available on AWS.
Unbelievable. I'm most closely concerned that when Amazon reports, they say, you know what, we are going to slow NVIDIA, or we're going to go to AMD, which they're not using for this kind of thing. I think they're going to stay with their friendly relationship with Jensen, but that's what the bears are telling me. Okay, so here's uses that DeepSeek can't do, okay, that you can do on Blackwell, all right? Multimodal memory, spatial intelligence, physical actuation, vision, and touch. So those are the things that you need Blackwell for. That's
DeepSeek all robotics, right?
Well, yes, but that matters tremendously.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to do it for that.
Right.
Unless they get the highest end chips.
Right. So, I mean, look, you want it to play Jeopardy. I don't want it to be. It plays a great game of checkers, but NVIDIA is a grand master. Kasparov.
In chess, not checkers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chess.
Yes,
Grand master.
Yes.
That's who NVIDIA is. Grand master. And the president is going to like him, and I think they're going to come out, and he's going to say whatever is good for NVIDIA is good for America. This is why I like NVIDIA. It's a recognition that it is a new industrial revolution. Anybody who's in it is worth a lot more than the people that aren't.
Andy Jassy, the CEO of Amazon, said investors on Thursday that chips are a crucial component of the computation that powers training and inference. NVIDIA chips have powered the majority of AI computation, and we clearly have a close relationship with them and will continue to do so for as long as we can see into the future. Naturally, not all of it will be used for NVIDIA goods, and the 4 largest hyperscalers have all discussed increasing their investments in in-house produced chips and CPUs in order to lessen their need on a single supplier. The demand for NVIDIA GPUs, which finance head Colette Kress called stumbling in a call with investors in late November, isn't going to falter despite that minor change in emphasis. According to Josh Beck, an analyst at Raymond James, we do not currently believe a major capex trajectory change is afoot because we tend to be skeptical on the DeepSeek debate and believe compute expands with lower pricing should be offset with higher volumes. Similar sentiments were expressed by C.J. Muse, an analyst at Cantor Fitzgerald, who said in a note published in late January that DeepSeek's developments bring artificial general intelligence, or AGI, a type of AI with cognitive capabilities similar to those of humans, closer to the market. According to him, future investments in large-scale clusters will only increase, and work on pre-training, post-training, and time-based inference reasoning will continue. All of this is encouraging for AI, and we regard this development as a sign that we will eventually require more computing power rather than less. Nvidia will undoubtedly discuss DeepSeek's influence on the larger AI scene, its expectations for a piece of the $325 billion committed by the largest hyperscalers, and the increasing presence of competitors like Broadcom, Marvell, and Advanced Micro Devices when it releases its fourth quarter results after trading closes on February 26th. Despite everything that has happened over the past few weeks, including the news about DeepSeek and the ban on exports to China, Nvidia remains our top holding, stated Ken Mahoney, CEO of Mahoney Asset Management. To stay informed about the latest developments from Nvidia and the ever-changing stock market, consider subscribing to our investing tutorial channel. We provide daily updates on significant market shifts and key catalysts, so hit that subscribe button to ensure you never miss crucial information. We'd love to hear your thoughts on Nvidia stock, so please share your opinions in the comments below. Now, let's dive into today's video.
Question of what the U.S. should do about export controls on Nvidia chips. Why don't you first bring us up to speed on what is the latest there?
So I think what Tay's getting at as well is Javin's paradox, right, which Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella brought up at the beginning of the week when all of this broke out into the open, saying more AI basically means more AI. And what Tay's talking about is true. At the inference level, it could require even more compute power. Something that I think may be lost in this conversation, though, is the competition that is going to be coming online for NVIDIA. Without a doubt, NVIDIA is leading edge. It has been the kingmaker in AI in that pre-training phase. In the inference phase, there's a lot more competitors. You have companies like Amazon and Google working on their own chips that are efficient, that could compete with NVIDIA's GPUs that are going to be coming online. And something that I think is really interesting that's also emerged this week is that big tech is just totally embracing DeepSeek. So while Washington is talking about more, export controls to make sure that these GPUs don't get into the hands of Chinese labs like DeepSeek, it's obviously, proven this big breakthrough that our big tech companies are really excited about and integrating into their own platforms. I mean, Microsoft Azure, Amazon AWS this week integrated DeepSeek in a way that isn't just taking DeepSeek, right, but taking the open source model and giving it to their customers in a safer way.
Yeah, Dell is doing the same thing. You can use it on Perplexity. So if you don't want to put it on your phone, you can still access it. So Tay, what do you think? I mean, if I could even put it that bluntly, the U.S. should do. You say you think the U.S. is still going to win the war here. As part of the war, should we be doing more serious export controls or not worrying so much about that?
I don't think you have to worry too much about it. There's no way they're going to. I highly doubt that the Trump administration is going to raise the compute thresholds to let China get the current advanced chips. The reason why I think the U.S. is going to win is that the current Blackwell AI systems are these massive AI server racks with 72 GPUs, all tightly integrated together. They have over 100,000 parts. They weigh 1.5 tons. So in the past, a lot of this is backward looking. You could put like a small chip in your backpack and maybe smuggle it, but that's not
what I've heard. Yeah. So let me just interrupt you there so people know what we're saying. There's been a lot of speculation that these chips, these H800s or H100s are being smuggled into China in suitcases. You say going forward that you can't even smuggle in the latest stuff.
Yeah, I mean, these AI servers that everyone's going to use because they're so much more performant and a massive computing density. Every hyperscaler is buying it right now. They're so big and massive, and you can't ship a 1.5 ton. It's like, come on, it's not going to happen. And these clusters, DeepSeek talked about 2,000 GPUs. The Llama 3 was trained on 16,000 GPUs. Now Llama 4 is going to be over 100,000 GPUs, and then Meta and everyone else is building 1 million GPU clusters. Like these are massive clusters and performance power that China is not going to be able to get. China's not going to be able to get a million GPUs.
And I apologize for running short on time here. Could you still, ship them to Singapore, quote unquote, and they make their way to China?
Not like these racks are so big and weigh so much. I don't think these things are going to be able to be smuggled in any shape or fashion.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And as you say, if all this raises demand for this computing power, we have it, and it will maybe be harder for it to kind of get there in the black market.
Given the strong demand for their AI services, Microsoft and Meta platforms have stated on recent earnings calls that capital expenditure this year remained a top priority. I believe that American tech companies are being encouraged to invest even more in their AI roadmaps by DeepSeek. Given that both of these Magnificent Seven are Nvidia clients, I believe the chipmaker will benefit greatly from ongoing investments in AI infrastructure. It is improbable that DeepSeek would abruptly stop working or that its training skills will deteriorate in any way. Palantir Technologies CEO Alex Karp continued by saying that the United States should increase its already significant investments in AI and run harder and faster in light of the DeepSeek advancement. Additionally, he doesn't seem to be the only tech figure promoting this concept. Given the strong demand for their AI services, Microsoft and Meta platforms have stated on recent earnings calls that capital expenditure this year remained a top priority. I believe that American tech companies are being encouraged to invest even more in their AI roadmaps by DeepSeek. Given that both of these Magnificent Seven members are Nvidia clients, I believe the chipmaker will benefit greatly from ongoing investments in AI infrastructure. A very diluted perspective on the DeepSeek issue would be to view the product as just another LLM, as Karp basically foresaw 2 years ago. Demand for Nvidia's processors should continue to be strong as long as new LLMs appear, and as long as platforms continue to invest in training and inferencing computation. In my opinion, the current Nvidia sell-off is motivated more by panic than by sound judgment. More significantly, long-term investors now have a unique chance to purchase Nvidia's stock, which has been rising nearly non-stop for over 2 years. Despite the possibility of some volatility in the near future, Nvidia's long-term outlook remains solid and may even get stronger as American companies invest more heavily in their AI infrastructure. Don't forget to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your input helps create a more knowledgeable community where we can all learn and grow together in the world of investing. Stay up to date with the latest market trends, insights, and key updates by subscribing to Investing Tutorial. We're here to help you make smarter investment decisions and stay ahead of the curve.